Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we have got a lineup of jokes for you that are guaranteed to crack you up. Let's straight dive into the fun.
A sweet elderly woman named Mabel walked into her local supermarket to buy some cat food. She placed 4 cans on the checkout counter and smiled at the young cashier. The cashier frowned and said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but store policy says I need proof that you actually own a cat. Too many people have been buying pet food for themselves." Mabel let out a little sigh, went home, picked up her fluffy orange cat, and carried him back to the store. The cashier smiled, rang up the cat food, and Mabel went on her way. The very next day, Mabel returned with 2 cans of dog food. Once again, the cashier stopped her. "Same policy, ma'am. I'll need proof that you own a dog." Mabel shook her head, went back home, returned a few minutes later with her little terrier, and bought the dog food without another word. On the third day, Mabel walked in carrying a small box with a tiny hole in the lid. She placed it gently on the counter and smiled. "Before I shop," she said, "would you mind putting your finger through this little hole?" The cashier looked puzzled. "Is it safe?" "Oh, absolutely," Mabel replied. "Nothing in there can hurt you." Curious, the cashier slipped a finger into the hole. A second later she yanked it back out, wrinkled her nose, and exclaimed, "You! That smells awful!" Mabel smiled sweetly and said, "Wonderful! Now I'd like to buy 3 packs of toilet paper." Walter wandered down to a lakeside where a large crowd had gathered for a community baptism. Curious, he stepped into the water and stood beside the pastor. The pastor smiled warmly and asked, "Are you ready to meet the Lord, my friend?" Walter nodded. "I sure am, pastor." The pastor gently lowered Walter beneath the water, then lifted him back up. "Did you meet the Lord?" he asked. Walter wiped the water from his eyes and said, "No, sir." The pastor smiled patiently. He lowered Walter under the water again, holding him there a little longer this time. When Walter came back up, the pastor asked, "How about now? Did you meet the Lord?" Walter caught his breath. "No, sir." Determined, the pastor took a deep breath and dunked Walter one more time, holding him under even longer. Finally, he pulled him back to the surface. Walter came up coughing, sputtering, and wiping water from his face. The pastor looked at him expectantly. "Well? Did you meet the Lord this time?" Walter blinked, looked around the lake, and asked, "Pastor, are you absolutely sure? This is where he fell in." One sunny afternoon, a girl suddenly fainted and collapsed on the busy street. Chaos ensued as people gathered around, unsure of what to do. Amid the commotion, an old man shouted dramatically, "Someone get me a water! Hurry!" A young man sprinted to the nearest shop, grabbed water, and rushed back, handing it to the old man. The old man took the water, nodded in appreciation, and gulped it down himself. As everyone stared in confusion, he sighed and said, "Thank you, son. I just can't handle the stress of watching such incidents sober."